we do also go live on YouTube for our audience on YouTube so that it gets recorded and they all can enjoy this session. So the today's topic is importance of social media for a small business, and we have the host of the day, Carolina. Yes, Carolina is third-year law aspirant pursuing a degree, but she is not just a student, she is also a public speaker, debater, and she motivates the people. And she also has founded a social group named Alliance for Cause. And she's going to have the conversation with our guest speaker. And our guest speaker is, please put your hand together and give a big round of applause to Rakshita Dwivedi. Yes, she is the guest speaker. And I request Carolina to please take it over, introduce our guest speaker, and floor is all yours. Over to you, Carolina.
Thank you so much, sir. So once again, hi, hello, and welcome to all our audience who have been joining us over YouTube Live and through the Zoom app. So we welcome you all to our 183rd episode. And before we proceed with the session, I am duty bound to welcome and thank all our YouTube family members who have been constantly showering us with their support, and also the Zoom app viewers who keep coming us to support us despite the busy schedule that you all have. So thank you so much for that. And today again, I have been bestowed with the task of introducing our guest speaker. Now, she is a woman who has made a difference, and her difference has been undoubtedly recognized. So here you go. Ma'am Rakshita is an ex-HR professional who ventured into creating her passion of healthy cooking into a business. She runs Recipe Daba, which aims to empower kids with healthy food choices. She has received various awards in the space like Web Wonder Woman by Ministry of Women and Child Development, Home Entrepreneur Awards by Brand Avatar, Women Entrepreneur for Startup by Adgully, Orange Flower Award by Women's Web. She has successfully trained over 2,000 kids pan India and curated over 1,000 healthy recipes. She's very active on social media. She loves working around with women to find their passion and turn them into businesses. We, ma'am, could not have found any better speaker than you to educate our viewers on how we can use social media for small businesses and its importance. We are undoubtedly sure that no other speaker other than you will be as experienced as you are to enlighten our viewers and also help them in bringing out their passion. So over to you, ma'am. Please take over this virtual platform and enlighten us with your ideologies.
Thanks, Carolina. I hope I'm audible and I'm clear. Okay, first of all, thank you so much, ET Talks, for having me here. I was just going through the video, and it's definitely so amazing to see, how things have grown up. And I wish another 100 episode. I think we're on 183, and 200 is just a couple of days back. Yeah. So congratulations, ET Talk, for that. And now coming to what I'm supposed to talk. So, I would, I can see people around here. So you all have the chat window accessible. You can ask your questions out there. And, in between, because, I'm generally used to of talking people in front of me. So in case, if I ask you some questions, please do write your comments so that I know, this is, you're able to grasp what I'm just saying, right? So social media, thank you, Ravi. Thank you for that beautiful note. Now, guys, I just want to ask you one thing, is that when I say social media, what is that first word which comes in your mind? So I want you all to write that in the chat box, and I'll take that, as I progress. So first word which comes in your mind, thank you so much, waste of time. Great. So now I have something really meaty to talk, because somebody said it's waste of time. Anybody else who feels social media is waste of time or anything else, right? It could be negative, positive, neutral, whatever you feel like. So just give one word to social media so that I really understand. But that's precisely what most of us feel like. It's waste of time. So I'll give you my story, because then you will be able to connect that Great. So somebody said fun, social connection. Thank you, Sumit. That's great. Um, so connects across the group. Absolutely right. So I was a corporate HR professional. So, I loved my job and I was doing what I was doing, and suddenly Facebook happened to me, right? So Facebook happened. So like everybody else, I also was there. I wanted to connect with my friends, and I was there on Facebook trying to connect, upload my pictures, and then as I was using Facebook, Twitter happened. Okay. Now, when I went on Twitter, I realized that it is so confusing. There is so much of information that I can hardly connect and grab, right? So I just felt Twitter, like Ravi said, is waste of time. So I logged out. I just deleted the app from my phone. I went back to Facebook, uploading my pictures and being happy with the space I was in. But then over the time, because of the of course, since I was in HR and we had to hire people, etc., so that was a time I started using uh, Facebook to post ads. I also used, I mean, if you all remember, there were times of Orkut. Okay. So we used to post ads on Orkut also. Of course, all throughout I've been part of LinkedIn, and LinkedIn was like any like it was something to connect with professional people. So and then as I started connecting with people, then I thought, okay, fine, I'll explore Twitter. I explored Twitter, and I realized that it is so much powerful than what I ever thought. So social media, that was my start. Like those job postings on social media was the start of social media changing my life. From an HR professional, from a corporate HR professional, from from being an HR professional to being a social media influencer on Twitter, to being one of the HR influencers, to being somebody who can actually quit the job and find a passion and start running a venture. That is what social media has done to me. So today, as I talk on this topic, why I share this story is because this has personally happened with me. So I really understand the power, and whenever I get into this discussion, I feel that there's so many things that we miss on understanding social media. So coming to why the topic social media for small businesses. So when I think it is social media, how social media can actually empower social small businesses or maybe micro businesses. So this is how I look at small businesses, that small businesses themselves have been bifurcated into solopreneurs, then micropreneurs, gig workers. So I think that's how, and all these people have to use social media in order to get the reap the benefits out of it. But many a times, we're there, like we would be probably going on YouTube, checking a lot of things, but we still will not understand that how we actually get into using it for the business perspective. So today, what I'm going to touch base about is why and the how. So we'll just talk about these topics, because I think why, you would get at most of the places, but how is where, we kind of, miss onto that. So I'll of course cover the whys, and then we'll take the hows. I think then it would make, more, relevance. The whole story will get connected. So let me take that. Why do people actually ignore social media, and why are we not able to understand the power of social media? So first of all is that a very important aspect is that social media, if you close your eyes, right? If I close my eyes and if I look at my social media, I see social media as my replica. So once you start seeing social media as your replica, you will never feel it's waste of time, because you can never say that's waste of time, right? You will start being more productive. You will start being the best, and start trying to find ways at how you can actually make the, it really, shine out and stand out, like how you probably invest in yourself. So once I start, or once, a person starts looking at social media from that perspective, things starts changing. Okay. So now, I'll touch base on few points on, why people look into social media, from that angle, and, again, how is it important. So one is, most of the people, I would talk to, like, since I have a lot of women communities, and I'm part of a lot of social media communities also. So many times I see people doing wonderful work, men, women, even kids. We have kids entrepreneurs also these days. So I see doing wonderful work, right? But the moment you ask them about their social media presence, many of them, do not understand the importance that how social media is the easiest, or let me say is the most, inexpensive form of connecting with your customer. Okay. And you would probably invest in going to exhibitions, promoting yourself, to so many places and investing there. But this is the place which not just connects you with your real customer, and also helps you to engage better, which in turn you will start getting the favors in terms of, bettering your services and making things better for yourself, and for your service which you're providing. So I think once, that's the reason, what I feel when I tell people that, it's very important for you to understand, because that's something which is available. Most of the social media is free, right? They don't charge you anything for the login. Now the only thing is, you don't know how to use it. So that's the second part which we'll take in the how. Like somebody said, it's very time consuming. Okay. People come to me and say, I can't be everywhere, and it's like, I really don't know which social media to do, which platform to be there. So all I tell them is like, yes, it can be time consuming because you don't have a plan, right? So if you don't have a plan, you would not really know where to go. So you will be all over the place, and that's where you never realize the true potential of social media. And so I think that's what confuses people. Many people feel that. It's too millennial. Okay, it's too millennial. When I say too millennial, it's like, this is something for young people, and I don't think so. It makes sense to me, and I can't do that. I'm talking about small businesses right now. Okay, so the moment you start looking social media from that angle, I think I would like to tell you that it is not just millennial. There are Gen X people, there are Gen Y people, there are even baby boomers these days. All over. So it's not something just is only for millennials. It's for everybody. In fact, when I say everybody, it is for every business to be there. If I meet somebody, right? So social media in a way has become your identity. If you meet somebody, for example, if somebody meets me, in fact, I remember Tulika reaching out to me. She didn't ask about my phone number. Of course, she had my phone number. Or she asked about my social media handles, right? Because everybody wants your social media handles. I meet somebody, when I exchange my business card, first thing is I look at the Facebook page, I look at the Twitter handle, I look at the Instagram handle. The last thing I look is the phone number. So I think, that's how social media is ingrained in us. Okay. And if something is so ingrained in us and we are not able to use it for business needs, we're actually missing on a large chunk of opportunity. Now, a very interesting aspect, which people come to me and say, I'm very happy with my business. I'm very happy with the kind of customers I have. I already have a base. And why do I go and put in efforts and, there on social media? So the thing is that, you online, when you're there online, you really get to know your customer much better than you would actually know offline, because offline you're not connecting them. Here your customer is ready to engage with you. Here his customer is there to write comments on whatever you share, ask you prices, interact with you, give you reviews. While if you know if I have to look for a company, the first thing, when I came to know about ET Talks, the first thing is I went and I checked the Instagram page and the Facebook page. Okay. We don't look for websites nowadays. Your social media is a website. Yeah. So that is how important social media is these days. People look for social media handles over website. People look for social media handles over phone numbers. So that's your online business card, which is available, and you still don't want to use it for your businesses, then you're definitely missing on an opportunity, as I said. Now, another very important thing is that many people come and say that, I don't know how to use it, right? So like, that's what we're going to talk about in how. So then I tell them that, see, one is that you have to really invest in yourself. We are here in this session, we're investing, right? You will be coming tomorrow again, you'll be investing. You've been here for 183 days because you're investing yourself. Social media is an investment which you do in yourself. It is not something, it's not a shortcut that you just create a Facebook page, Facebook post, and you're there. Now that I said Facebook, so yes, you have to really invest in yourself. You have to spend time in understanding, because once you understand, you'll be able to kill it. So it's a very, very important aspect about, it is that you have to invest, because once you invest in a proper manner, you'll be able to reap benefits. And again, so when something like happens, then people are like, okay, then what if I'm not able to do it? So these days you can outsource it. You can do a lot of things, right? But for a small business, you can definitely manage it yourself. That's what I tell people. You should only outsource social media once you've reached a certain level, because see, social media, as I said, is a replica, and nobody knows you. You're the first person who knows it the best. So if I have to sell my, if I have to explain my business offering, I'm the best person who can explain. So till such time I reach a level where somebody else can actually start explaining my venture in that manner, there's no need of outsourcing, unless and until you really can't do it. So now, having answered all those whys, that why you have to be there, but because it is easily available, it is something where your customer is the customer is already waiting. A very important aspect from social media. Social media is a place which actually gives you an edge over a bigger brand. You go and check out any bigger brand Facebook page, and you look at a smaller brand page. The kind of engagement with a customer a smaller brand would have, a bigger brand can never have, because it's an agency which is handling, right? So that's the beauty, right? And these days, it's only the individual connection which is actually going to acquire the customer over a larger brand. So if you are there looking for that kind of connection, if you're there to acquire a customer out there, that's the place to be. And if you want to grow your business really, this is a place to network, meet like-minded people, connect more, and create that like how this community is created out here. Social media is also a community. Okay, you just have to be there, present there, understand where are the like-minded people, and create a community. After all, this is also a social media community, right? This is ET Talks. What you're doing is also a social media community. So that's how you have to, that's why you should be there. Now let's come to this is my favorite part, the how. So now that we've discussed this whys and things around this, so let's imagine, let's think that we have a common goal today to create our social media presence. So now our goal is being on social media and acing. So when I say acing, the word is ACE, and that exactly answers how will you do it. So A is your audience, C is your content, E is your engagement. So if you have a goal, that goal is sitting on ACE, okay, on a framework called ACE, which is your audience, content, and engagement. Now, this sounds more like a gyan, but trust me, it's not that difficult. So for example, um, for example, if I want to establish, a company which is into jewelry designing, okay. Now my goal is to, establish my, brand on social media. So first is I will, initially, the first thing what I will do is, what do you think? So if you are into jewelry designing business and you had to create your social media presence, what is the first platform you will actually sign up for? So let me see if anybody answers out there. Which is the first platform you will sign up if you're into jewelry business, okay? If you're a jewelry designer, And the first platform which you will sign up will be, so as you can probably put in your answers in the chat box. Let me tell you that every platform on social media has its own personality. Like you have a personality, I have a personality. Great. So Facebook, okay. Every platform has a personality. We have to understand where is my audience, okay, and then go on that platform first. Okay, so now how do I know where is my audience? So first, of course, you should know your audience. You know, what is the age group of your audience? You know, is there a gender for audience? So if I'm talking about jewelry business, I'm generally looking for women. Okay, women, depending on the kind of jewelries I'm looking into, right? So I'll go. So if I'm looking into the kind of, if it is an exclusive jewelry, so the first place I would go right now, because jewelry is all about pictures. So the first place I would go is Instagram. Okay. Now, of course, I am going to be on Facebook also. Okay. Because, I'm going to, but, something which appeals to your eye, something which is all about pictures is Instagram. Okay. Something which is all about comments, conversations, discussions is Facebook. Okay. And if you want to have small conversations, have a lot of virality and other things, it's Twitter. Now, if you want to be there and establish yourself as a knowledge guru, you should be on LinkedIn for sure. Okay. So like I said, depending on where is your audience, you should invest maximum of your time. And then you should have a presence in other platforms. So there's no harm to be exclusive on a platform. So there's no harm to be there on just Instagram and not being on Facebook when you're starting. But most of the content can be repurposed. So you don't have to really worry about it, right? So if you actually created the content, those contents can be used on any other platform. But you have to, once how do you create the content depends on where the audience is, right? So if you've created something on Instagram, it can definitely be used on Facebook later on, but the primary audience is your Instagram audience. Now, once you've zeroed down your platform where you want to start it, make sure that, see, initially, the connects are going to be your personal connects, your friends, network. But what happens many times is that, Facebook algorithms are very complicated. So what we do is, like, we go and we keep posting, we every day, twice, thrice, many times we'll keep posting, oh, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing on Facebook, and my friends will get bored. Nobody is going to give any, they don't want to notice at all. They would just probably scroll down and not even, give you a single like or maybe connect that with the content. So please do not bore your audience. Okay. And on that note, let me please tell me if I'm boring you. So yes, please don't bore your audience. Okay. So yes, you create your own professional page, which could be on Instagram, which could be on Facebook. You can create on Twitter also. And then be consistent, because your consistency is the E, which is going to bring you the engagement piece. Okay, so you cannot miss on the engagement and consistency. Now, when I say consistency, does that mean that I have to post 10 posts every day? No. Again, you have to understand the platform for that. Instagram is good for 2 postings, maximum 2 posting. Actually, 1 posting in a day is good for Instagram. Then Facebook can easily take a posting every 3-4 hours. Twitter is you can post every 1 hour. LinkedIn also you can post thrice in a day. Okay, so you have to understand where and how much time gap you have to give. So once you know, that is how you will actually get the engagement. So the mistakes which we do is we overdo. We'll just go on. We'll feel like whenever I am available on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, people around me are available. No, you have to understand there is something called analysis and analytics in your Facebook page. You have to read and see when your audience is live. So when your audience is live, or rather when your maximum audience comes, that's the time you should be posting on your Facebook, on your Instagram, and all these places. So first is, now that we've accepted that we start understanding your audience, we start identifying the right platform we have to be there, and then we start curating content for that platform. And of course, we have to work on the consistency and work on the engagement piece. Because if you miss any of these things, you will actually miss the whole dynamics. Now, how do we actually do even these things? See, there are tools which are available. But before we go to the tools, I want to tell you a very important thing, which is the planning of your social media. You can't be on social media the full day and keep posting on Facebook, Twitter. Trust me, after 2 days, you'll say, whatever I said is doesn't make any sense. You can never do your business on social media. You have to create a plan. You will get n number of Excel sheets on Google, which actually can help you create your social media plan. People take your consulting charges for that, but I'm telling you for free. There are, there are sheets available for social media planning. You just have to go and download that Excel sheet. All it tells you is that you have your Mondays, you have your Wednesdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You write that in Excel. Then you have your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Sit down. That's how I used to do when I started this. That I would prepare the content for a month. What goes on Monday? So if Monday is your motivational messages, don't overdo with motivational messages also, because everybody is anyways doing. I'm just giving you an example. You have to be very creative about the content, but initially you can start with these things. You can, let's say Monday you can keep motivational messages, Tuesday you can talk, keep some talk. Okay, this has to be a mix of a picture, a video. You can repurpose somebody else's content, of course, with with all the rights, etc. And you can share people. So basically, and this is going to help you that what exactly your audience needs. For example, I run a food venture, and initially I started doing all these motivational messages, and I realized that people come on recipe dabba, not for motivational messages, but to see recipes and to understand healthy cooking. So why do I actually put motivational messages? Because that wasn't connecting. So I did it for a couple of months and I realized this is not connecting, so I'm not getting likes. So when I plan for the next month, I will not do motivational messages. I realized that when I do discussions, when I do when I talk with people, when I do live sessions, people are more connected. So now I've made it a point that once in a week, I will go live. Okay, but if I do too many lives also, then people start coming to the channel because they feel, okay, she's there anytime. So you have to make sure that you're not every time available. Okay, so I think, thank you so much, Ravi. So I think that's very important, how to use it and how to actually perfect it. Now that once you have all that plan ready, trust me, this plan is gold. Please go ahead and create this plan. This is going to, if you really want to start it, because what you have to do is once you've done it on a Sunday, Monday, you have to just follow that plan. And Facebook, Instagram, there's a beautiful tool called Hootsuite. Okay, it's HOOTSUITE, yeah, Hootsuite, that helps you schedule in all these platforms. What you can do is, you can, for example, you want to let's say we were talking about the jewelry business. Okay, I'll give you example. Or let's say if you're into a consulting, let's say you're a trainer. Okay, so you start with, if you're a trainer, of course motivational messages will make sense, because the people who are looking forward to connect with you, they can relate to that. Then you can start with maybe a video. Okay, then you can actually share some blogs. Okay, then you can start sharing some nice infographics. Okay, you can share tips. So all these things can go, and you can schedule through Hootsuite. So when you schedule, this is also very important. When you schedule, make sure that the same thing doesn't go on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at the same time. There has to be difference, because you might have a common audience. Okay, so for example, if I'm on my phone, I might just check on my Instagram and Facebook at the same time. If I see the same message at both the places, I might skip at one, right? I'll say, okay, I'll not like this because I've only liked on Facebook. Okay, I'm just scroll down. But if so, if somebody else comes in, and if I share it little later, there are more chances that I see that message and again like it. So give a 1 hour gap when you, so if you're putting, let's say, a motivational message at 9 o'clock, and that 9 o'clock, how will you decide? That's only from the analytics part, you will see that your audience comes. If your audience on the page is more likely to come around 10 o'clock, then please post a message around 10:30 and not at 9 o'clock. Okay, so that's how you can repurpose it. Keep those posters, etc. ready. You can use them again with a different color and theme. The same content can be used again after 3 months. Okay, people would have forgotten the same font, etc. So these are little hacks, okay, which is going to save your time. Hootsuite, when you're starting, that's the best way to use it. It saves so much of time, and you can schedule almost everything. But there's a but out there. But do not schedule everything. There's a reason why you're on social media. Are you an automated machine yourself? I said it's a replica of you. If you're not an automated machine, your social media should not be automated, because people would realize that when they comment, etc., you're not commenting back, then they would know that, okay, there's a lot of time gap. Somebody might just ask you a question and you're replying back. So what I generally say is, like, try to give it a mix. Okay, so you sometimes it could be random. Okay, I have a thought and I just want to write it down, so let me just write it down. So this is what you can do. Okay, now coming to the tools which you can, of course, Hootsuite is one thing. Canva, most of us know Canva is a tool which is available for creating graphics, but the free version of Canva has so much which you can do without even going to the paid version, with a little bit of tweaking. There are such beautiful tools. This is what I generally do for my social media. I every once in a month or once in a 2 months, I keep changing my apps. So if I have Canva today, I will have Picto chart, after 2 months. If I'm using InShot today, I will use, some other tool, Be Funky. So if I'm using Snapchat today, I'll use something else, right? So I keep researching on apps and I keep changing, because that keeps changing the look and feel of how my social media looks, because that's, as I said, is my personality. And see, that is what is very important for my audience, I've realized. Okay, so you have to understand what is clicking with your audience and then stick to it. But all these things will give you a lot of variation in creating content. Pictochart is again something through which you can create beautiful infographics. So as I said, if you're, for example, if you're a fitness trainer, you want to really talk about a nice diet, if you want to talk about how keto is good, or maybe how one can go vegan, or how cardios can be done, you can create so many beautiful things out of that. And those things can be then used on your Facebook, Twitter, and all these places. So once you've used these tools, okay, you can, I mean, as I said, Play Store, or any of your you have a lot of apps which are available, and you can create cartoon scripts, you can do so many things to use the same content in a different way. So once you've done this, once okay, fine, my I have my tools, I have my things ready, now I can just go and start working towards it. You have to, so your one Sunday you have to do your planning, then the same day, the Sunday itself, you have to put in your content, and then you have to be there. Now being there, it means that you have to invest at least, if you're using Instagram, you have to invest at least 30 minutes to be there on the platform. And if it's Facebook, you can probably, when I say 30 minutes from Instagram, it has to be, let's say, not all the grow. Okay, the tools are the page Hootsuite for your for your scheduling. Okay, then you can use Canva for creating graphics. You can use Pictochart for your infographics. In fact, infographics, there are a lot of tools. InShot for creating videos. InShot is a very, very lovely. In fact, all the food bloggers and vloggers which I have, they use InShot. And the beauty of InShot is that you would not have that logo of InShot coming down, so it's going to be seamless. You can put your own logo itself. So that's the beauty. That's why I love InShot. It's InShot. Snapseed, sorry. If you are in a business of creating pictures, as I said, for example, even if you're a consultant, you want to create nice pictures. If you're a photographer, if you're a food photographer, if you're a let's say, if you're into a business of restaurant, if you're in a business of jewelry designing, or if you're into gardening, any of these things, anything which needs pictures, Snapseed is the way. I mean, you can just use your simple photo simple phone to actually click pictures like DSLR quality. So you can do beautiful edits out there. Then there's Be Funky, Befunky. That's a beautiful food editing, picture editing app as well. So like that, I think you can, of course you can, you just have to go in your Play Store, there, and just type in. Once you type in, for example, I'm looking for a cartoon creator app. So today I want to create cartoon strips. So what I generally do is, like, I don't have all the apps available always on my phone, but there are 5 6 apps which are there, so I keep changing. So if I've done with Canva, I might just go on Be Funky and create it. Sometimes you can just use your simple PPT, PowerPoint presentations to create some nice graphics, etc. So I think keep doing that. If you keep using those tools, um, you will be able to create amazing content. I mean at a time you can of course use 3 or 4 apps only, and but keep changing your apps is what I want to say. And yeah, so once you've done that, um, a good trick to be there on Instagram, you have to design your template. If you think your template, okay, whether you want to like Empowerment Talks has a very beautiful template. They work on whites and they've got a nice frame. So I think it's beautiful that ways. And you can you can look for different frames. Some people like just share pictures, so that's also lovely. Use your stories, and I'll come on WhatsApp also, okay, because also WhatsApp is very powerful. Use your Instagram stories, your Facebook stories. That's going to bring in a lot of people. Actually, that's a subtle way of telling your network, your Facebook people, what is your business without being there on the feed, because people don't want to see on your feed, okay. They want to see what they want to see, so why waste their time? Just share on the story. If somebody is interested, they'll know what's happening, okay. So for example, if I was invited on this ET Talks, I would not put this on my personal feed. I'm going to put it on my professional feed. I'm going to share it in my story. If somebody wants to see this, they will see on my story, okay. So that's one thing, and that actually helps a lot. Then your WhatsApp, okay, let's come to your WhatsApp, which is also a social media, and most of us are there. Your WhatsApp status messages are very powerful. Most of my workshop, 50% of people in my workshop sign up from my WhatsApp status messages. All I do is every day I change. Whenever there's a business, whenever there's a workshop happening, I just keep changing my posters out there, and people reach out. I don't have to send them broadcast messages, anything. I just have to change my status message out there, and people reach out to me. Yes, single relevant post per day at the right time is good enough. That's very important. If it is, you really know what connects with the audience. I mean, recently when COVID started, there was a WhatsApp. I have created so many recipe posts in past, but I created 100 recipe post, which could be made by non-perishable items, and that went viral, okay. Before, I would have done so many posts before that on WhatsApp, but none of them went viral. But that one went viral because, as somebody said, relevancy and the right time is very important. If you do it at the right time, so always look for the seasons, right? So if you want your things to reach out to people, do it around the time. So that's why you will see that, if there's a, is like, if for example Sunday is a world vegan day, right? So everybody will start creating vegan food because they know that everybody is following a hashtag and everybody is doing that. So I think relevancy is very, very important. And it's a great place to create your network. Please collaborate with people. The best way to best way to not be competitive to each other is collaborate. Okay, so whenever I feel that, okay, there is somebody, I always look for collaborations. Whenever you feel that somebody can actually help you reach out to their network, there's no harm that they reach out to your network, right? So I would probably do a session for them, and they can do a session for me, and our audience can be exchanged, and there's no harm, right, for us growing together. So that helps me also, and that helps the other person also, and there's absolutely no harm. So social media is a beautiful place because everybody wants to grow, and why not, right? So collaboration is a great way of using your things on social media. Again, less is more. Relevant is very important. So don't go overboard with any of the things, and be very, very, and this you will only know after you've done it for some time, that okay, this is my relevance, this is what it is, and you'll be able to, definitely do that. So I think these were the things, which I wanted to share, is that if you follow that ACE methodology of your knowing your audience, creating the right content, and then engaging them, engaging back with them, uh, you'll be actually able to use it in a better manner, and create your social media presence for your business. So yeah, I'll be more than happy to take any questions, etc. If you have, I'll be, happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for beautifully driving us through these tips. And I'm pretty sure that they would aid anybody who puts them into use. So now, if you are ready, can we please proceed with the Q&A session?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay. So the first question that came across my mind when I was listening to your talk was, many a times when we start off with promoting ourselves in social media, we tend to start off with a good start with great enthusiasm, but then our post might not reach out to many people. So we tried once, we tried twice, and then we get fed up and we're like, okay, this is not working out. So
Correct.
how do you, overcome that and still keep constantly doing that with consistency? And when will the efforts start showing off?
Great, great. So that's a very good question. In fact, is that and that happens with most of the people. In fact, I'll tell you something, like, we were just generally talking, and somebody created a picture, and she says, I said, why don't you post this on Instagram? It's such a beautiful picture. She's like, why should I put on Instagram? Nobody actually sees on my Instagram. So when I said, when we started discussing, I said, you have to invest in social media. Okay, so when I say invest, you have to put in time. See, nobody will engage with you if you don't engage with them, right? If I'm on Instagram, okay, and if I don't go ahead and comment on other people's pictures, if I don't like and I just come and post my picture and go away, definitely nobody's going to follow me back and give me a like. Okay, it's all about, you have to like, right? People use this like for like, comment for comment kind of a thing, right? So you have to invest, you have to give that time. And of course, once you start doing it, you will know that, okay, this is a time my audience is available, this is a time the connect will happen. Then you will enjoy those 2 likes which you come, or maybe 3 likes, and you'll say, okay, this is the right content which actually, connects with my people. So let me bring in more information. Maybe you are being repetitive, okay? Maybe you're not able to, and sometimes what happens that people, so your personality of social media is very important. Please never ever, when you start it, you should know that this is what you will have. These kind of things you will have, okay? And these kind of things you will never have, right? So if I feel that I will never bring in politics on my social media page, I will never bring it, okay? If I feel that on my professional page I will never talk about Bollywood, I will never talk. I can talk in my personal space, right? So if you get the right content, right people, and you invest time in other people, they will come back. Definitely they'll come back. There's no doubt that they'll come back. It will take time, but and then you will get a knack. So see, getting those, when I say it's like getting 100 followers is difficult, okay? But once you get 100, then 500 is easy. Once you have 500, then 1,000, okay? And then that's how you start creating more content, okay? So aim, put those goals out there, okay? So this is how I do, right? Every day I track my, for example, the HR, right? I would track my Twitter followers, okay? Now I start giving goals to myself. My goal is, after 1 week, this is the number of followers I will have. Then I started working backwards. What do I do to get these followers? What is the kind of content should I put in that I get those followers on my Twitter? Okay, so that's how it started working, and that's how it works for everybody. So if you just plainly feel that one day it will happen, it won't happen. You'll have to invest time and work towards it.
That's true. So time and consistency is probably the key to this.
Correct.
So moving on to the next question, but before I do that, if the audience have any question that they want to directly ask the speaker, please either raise your hand or drop the question in the chat box so that I can read it out. Now coming back to the question, so many a times what happens is, in this fast moving world, everything keeps getting updated. For example, when I first started using Facebook, I taught my mom a little later, and then immediately Instagram came up. So then she
Correct.
was like, now I don't know how to use it. And I'm like, even I don't know, even I'm new to this. And then Twitter comes, and then LinkedIn comes. So it
Correct.
keeps getting updated, and their functions are also different. And
Absolutely.
for people who are tech savvy, of course, it's going to be a cakewalk. But for people
Correct.
who are trying to engage and keep up with the pace, it is going to be a difficult task. So, how do you get yourself acquainted and updated every time something new pops up?
Awesome. That's a very, very relevant question. And in fact, I missed answering that, covering that. Your research. Okay. So, like Instagram, you said, okay, when I started using Instagram and there were so many things which changed in Instagram, all I did, I went on Google, I researched. There is so many videos available who actually tell you how you can do that. I mean, the things which I'm sharing with you is I have also learned from somewhere. Okay. And then I started applying. So, like, today we are having a discussion. So if you really are interested in a topic, you will start researching about it. So rather than probably being on social media and on being on Facebook and clicking pictures and liking, you can probably invest that time, right? So I say that on your phone you should have some times dedicated. So for example, this is my Instagram time. Okay, so generally between 8 to 9 o'clock I'm on Instagram, where I'm connecting with people, liking, and I know, okay, my audience is going to be there. Then there's a time which I put, which is generally around 12 o'clock, which I say, okay, this is my research time. So if I want to study about nutrition, if I want to study about, let's say, cracking, some tools, so I do that, right? So I think, once you know that, okay, this is what you want to learn, you know, we are so lucky to be in a world which has Google, and we can actually research and learn so much from peers around us, from a community who's always available to share people. There are people who've done wonderful jobs. So just you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just go on Google, look for the information, and learn it that way. So that's how I also do that.
That's true. Google is the best friend for many people in this day.
Correct.
So, yeah. So, moving on to the next question. So, this is something that might not be directly relevant to the topic, but I think anybody who addresses or mentors others on this arena should be addressing this as well. So, what do you have to say about those who enter into social media to misuse the platform? And trolling happens everywhere. So,
Correct.
how do you face trollers, and how do you not let that demotivate you and keep going in your path?
Correct. So I've been lucky that I've never faced such problem. Maybe I'm not that big a person still that somebody can troll me, but I know that that can happen, right? So I think a very important thing, when I was on Twitter, because these kind of things happen a lot on Twitter. Facebook still is very, very closed, okay? But if you actually look at Twitter, it's a very, very open, platform, and anybody can see, anybody can retweet, and anybody can comment. So I always make sure that whatever I'm putting is well researched, is something which is non-controversial. So it will never ever bring in things like that. For example, in past, I remember, I went to a restaurant, okay, and they shared something, and I just posted that picture on my Instagram. So somebody just commented and told me that she actually DM'd me, and she said, you being somebody who talks so much about healthy food, and putting a picture of something which is not relevant to healthy food is something which is not acceptable. So when she told me, then I realized that I might not be. That time I probably had hardly 500 followers, but I realized that how seriously some people can actually take your post, and so you are responsible for what you're putting. So even if you just probably have 10 followers or 100 followers, don't feel that nobody is watching you, okay? And what goes on your social media stays on social media. So be very, very careful about what you put. Don't talk about things which you feel can take it. For example, as I said, I don't talk about certain topics, and I'm very clear, I would not even touch base those topics on social media, so that I don't end up into, because it is one, it's going to divert the whole thing which I want to do that, and of course going to demotivate me. So why I end up out there? And I want to speak, I want to do things which, even in for example, if I'm into healthy food, if there are certain things which are very controversial, for example, there are a lot of things which are very controversial in healthy food space, yeah? So I would never comment unless and until there's an expert who comes and shares. It's well and good. Otherwise, I would not probably take up, just because I'm very passionate about that subject. So you have to be very, very careful about what you're putting across on social media to avoid such kind of situations.
That's true. So you have to be conscious when you're going public. So that's
Correct.
really Yeah. So now to the last question from my side. But before I do that, again, a reminder to anybody who wants to ask a question, please do raise your hand. So, yes, now lastly, what do you think about empowerment talks and this platform that keeps engaging beautiful motivational speakers? So, what do you have to say about the work of this entire team? Anything that you would like to comment?
Absolutely. Like I said, the word empowerment itself, it's somehow, I love this word, first of all. And because I use empowering kids in my pitch. So it just takes you to the next level. So when you say empowerment talks, I take it as a talk which is, taking the whole community to the next level. And this is an amazing social community, which is contributing towards such an awesome learning. And, I wish you guys all the best, and I can definitely see more and more people. I will, from my end also, I would love to help people connect with you guys. And because there's so many. And I was actually going on Instagram before I joined in here to see the kind of topics which have been covered, and some of the topics were like so beautiful. Like emotional intelligence is one of my favorite topics, and I love getting their point of view. So amazing work, and I really congratulate the founders for such a brilliant platform. And every single day having a talk. I do Insta lives once in a week, and I know what a pain it is arranging panels and doing it every single day. So amazing. Hats off to you guys. And it's a very beautiful platform. And I wish you guys, all the best and more empowered talks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And yes, at this instance, I also take time to thank the entire team that has been working recklessly to make these events successful ones. And now, ma'am, to you, thank you so much for joining us and gracefully accepting our invite. And I'm pretty sure that your words of wisdom would have aided in many people and in their activities of promoting their business. So thank you so much for joining us. And we hope and pray for all your future endeavors. And we hope that you keep receiving awards and keep enlightening people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the beautiful hosting you've done for me.
Yep. And at this instance, I also take time to thank all our audience, be it on YouTube Live or on Zoom, or everybody who's going to watch this show, even after we finish telecasting it lively, because we know that you all keep supporting us, and only because of that do we still have our pace out here. So thank you so much for that. And now I pass it on to Sir, who will come over and conclude this beautiful session. Over to you, Sir.